there's this one thing about the running back reset of 2023 that a lot of people are not talking about. Kind of covered it yesterday with my video when I was going over the free agent class at running back. And that's there's so many running backs, but not enough jobs. We have a lot of good running backs who will be available either through the draft or free agency that can help an NFL team, but there's not enough jobs out there for them. In that video, we covered 16 running backs. Realistically, there's about 10 to 15 good running backs for the NFL. Some of these guys are just role players. Some of these guys are impactful for fantasy and for real NFL as well. A good mix there. And you need all of that. And then we look at this running back class for this NFL draft coming up, and we have 10 to 15 or more good running backs. So something's got to take here. We have this merry-go-round of running backs. We're playing the game here. Who is going to be on the outside looking in? It'll probably be a couple vets, probably be a couple rookies who fall in the draft. How are we going to play this game? If you wait and see, are you going to be not catching that bag? Or you're not going to be catching that value? Are you going to have to be aggressive? Where are we going to make our moves at? One thing to think about with these rookie running backs is once we get into the draft, teams are going to have some running backs on the board in the middle rounds, third round, wherever it's at. There's going to be an albatross situation there where they're like, yeah, I could take this running back, but the tight ends, the tackles, whatever position you're looking at is dropping off soon. I'll select that. And you know what? I got 5 other running backs I like. I'll wait another round or so and do that. And then next thing you know, running back A slips, running back B slips, running back C slips. And it just happens down the line. We may not even notice. It may be just a few picks per running back, and then in the back after the draft, it will be more well known. But we could catch some talented running backs slip in the draft this year more than any other stacked draft year at the running back position due to this free agent market being solid as well, because these running backs got to go somewhere, and they have to go sign somewhere. Even if they're the marginal backs, they still hold value because they hold a spot that prevents a young guy from fitting in because they're established, they're counted on, they've proven themselves. So that's something you want to think about. One thing I think some of these backs are going to fall a little bit. Maybe 4th round, 5th round, 6th round when they could have been like a 3rd round pick, early 4th round pick, something like that. Just name the price, and it's going to change on some of these players. It's going to happen. There's going to be a dilution of value, and that could allow that player to fall in the draft a little bit due to hit rates for day 3 draft picks. So some of these day 3 draft picks that we're looking at are going to exceed expectations, but they're also going to be a major wild card because these NFL teams don't have the sunk cost invested into these running backs. So they really have to hit on a dime once they get to the NFL level to prove themselves. If not, they're going back shopping in 2024 because next year's draft class decent at running back as well. And the free agent market's always going to have running backs as well too because things are starting to mount up now. So these day 3 picks are going to be very, very prosperous for Dynasty if you can hit on them because you're going to have a couple guys emerge, rise above the ashes, and start playing well. It could be for a short stint, maybe 6 to 8 games. It could be for multiple years, but you're going to get some returns on the investment. And these could be 3rd round rookie picks, 4th round rookie picks. This back half of the draft is going to be very impactful for Dynasty Fantasy Football because some of these guys are going to slide farther than what they should be just because they fell a little bit in the NFL draft, and that impacts their hit rates and their perceived hit rate going forward. But considering the landscape here, the economics, the macro of things, that might not just be the case. The thing about this, though, since these NFL teams don't have the sunk costs invested in these running backs, there's a chance that some of these running backs that are good, that fall a little bit to that range, they may not hit just because they may not get enough opportunity to prove themselves. They may not get it. Maybe they get a couple nagging injuries here and there. Maybe another running back on the team pops off. You never know. Situations happens. Life happens. That's just how things work out. So there is some risk there when these running backs do fall due to the sunk cost and the nature of the beast. But that being said, you're going to get some talented running backs later in the draft because that's what's going to happen. Free agency is going to open up. Some backs are going to move around a bit. Some free agent running backs will still be on the market. They're going to start weighing their options. Other positions will be on the board that are going to start getting scarce. They're going to start leaning into those positions. Some of these running backs are going to fall a little bit, and then they'll start picking some of these running backs at a discount. Also, the running backs that go a little bit higher, the second-round running backs, the early third-round rookie backs, those are the ones you're going to want to look at really hard because those guys stood out for some reason at that price point when you have this big group of running backs who are talented at a cheaper cost. So for some reason, that team wanted to get that running back. So you're going to want to look at those running backs really hard. I'm not saying you have to go after them. I'm saying you want to look at them pretty hard because we're talking macro here. In the micro, you may not like running back A, but like running back C, and then this and that, and tit for tat for that. But thinking about things from a macro perspective here, from a fantasy football angle, you need to look at this and think about how this thing shifts the market because not all drafts are the same. Not all off seasons are the same, and we have a lot of running backs available, not many jobs, so you really have to pinpoint what's going to happen. Get your ducks in a row. Start being strategic with your rookie picks. There's going to be some values at running back this year. There is going to be for the NFL teams and for us in Dynasty Fantasy Football. You're just going to have to play it out. And we're not going to know till draft day, but I'm calling the signal now because we have a ton of running backs out there and not many jobs, and that's going to shift some things up. We're playing musical chairs here with these running backs. Someone's not going to get a chair. Someone's going to be on the outside looking in. Someone's going to be playing the music, and we're all going to be casting values on these guys, so you're just going to have to be on the lookout. The one thing I am stressing here is don't value it like any other offseason. Add some dilution to it. Add some inflation to it. Because these running backs are talented. We got some talented free agents, and they're all going to go their place, and you're going to have to be patient as well because some of these young guys might need an extra year compared to other backs because things might be a little clustered as well. Some teams might just pick up an extra running back just because they can, because the value's there in the 4th round, and they say, you know what, I don't like the tackles here, I don't like the wide receivers, I don't like position X, let's just get this running back, I kind of like him, let's get him. And you know what? They already got a starting running back and a scat back, but they're going to get him anyways because depth is good at the running back position because it's the hurt business at running back. So this is something you got to think about with a deep, talented class like this one. Not only is it deep, but it's different at many different parts of the draft at the running back position. You got your scat backs, you got your power guys, you got your guys who can do all three, and you're going to have them all over the board in the draft, which is going to make things tricky and interesting at the same time. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments below. I want to thank you for watching. Smash that subscribe button on the way out. It's only going to help you build your Dynasty Fantasy Football teams, and I'll catch you on the next video.